Hi, I'm Graham Glynn, Assistant Provost and Executive Director for Teaching, Learning plus Technology at Stony Brook University. And this is Innovations in Education. In our show, we feature faculty and staff using innovative approaches and best practices to teaching and applications of educational technology that have had a positive effect on student learning. In our show today, I'm joined by Michael Nugent, the Director of the Finance Program in the School of Business at Stony Brook University. We'll be discussing real-world problem-based learning and the use of simulations. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me, Graham.
You're welcome. So tell me a little bit about the classes that you teach.
Well, I teach a host of classes, from strategic management to finance to financial engineering to investments. And my class sizes can range from financial engineering. I've tried to constrain to about 40 students. Most of my class sizes are 60 or 100.
Okay. And you use problem-based learning. Where do you get the problems that you use in those types of classes?
A good deal of the problems, I found that a lot of the textbook materials are a little canned, a little staged, seem a little artificial. So a lot of the problems I reach out to former students or my own career in the past to bring real problems from the work world into the classroom.
Okay.
So they feel more comfortable when they get into a job that they're familiar with the work they're doing. Because it's often been criticized of many colleges of business where there's a big gap between what they do in class to what's performed in the working environment, and a disconnect between what employers want to see from skills in new hires from college to what we're teaching, what many colleges of businesses are teaching students in class.
Do you ever actually approach employers and say, provide me with business problems that you've had that I could use?
Constantly, constantly. I have, in the role of a director of the finance program, I meet with a lot of employers, and the whole College of Business tries to be active in the area, in the city, to meet with potential employers for our students and ask them, I always ask them two main questions. What is it that you'd like to see more of in our students that would make you more applicable of hiring them?
Right.
And what type of problems could you give me that I could facilitate in the classroom? And some of them are very excited and very generous with what they provide. Most of them come in the form of a rough case or a spreadsheet that I work with them to tailor to make it fit a little bit amenable to the classroom. But for the most part, they're very willing. They're very excited to give back and be involved. And they feel that for them the reward is that they're going to get more competent employees in the future.
Do the students ever provide you with problems?
Yeah, there's a number of students that are either currently working or have been in the working world for a while. And it wasn't until really, believe it or not, until the Facebook became so popular that I had a better connection to these students. Because prior to that, they would graduate in our alumni organization. I haven't really been able through the alumni organization to get a lot of feedback from the students. They do come to some events, but the participation was lower than I expected. With Facebook, the students I have more of a personal connection with join the Facebook page. This, of course, started when Facebook was just a university-bound program. Now it's a little bit more wide open.
Right.
But I still have about 500 student contacts from there from the past 5 years that I follow up with. Send them an email or chat with them on the line and say, hey, how's it going? What work are you? Can you hire somebody? Is your company hiring? Can you send me any case materials, or what are you doing? Can you come in for a presentation to my class? So provides a real nice conduit to bring former students back to Stony Brook, back to the classroom, and help our current students. And I continually reinforce in class that, once you graduate, I don't want you to give money to the school. The school does, but I don't. What I want you to give is jobs. And I want you to remember us and come back to us when a job is available and give our students, it gives a school a good reputation if we can get out there and be known as, a competent workforce.
So this Facebook site, is it for the finance program, for a particular course, for the school?
Oh, it's Facebook in general for everybody.
Yeah, but I'm talking about you've set up a Facebook site.
My profile.
Oh, so it's your personal
Yeah, so they connect
Facebook
to my
site.
profile.
Okay.
And then, and some students aren't comfortable. I never invite a student. They volunteer. They friend me. I never friend them. And so it's of their own accord. So if someone who's ready wants to keep in contact, then I'm more comfortable with that. And, it's, I put pictures up there of graduation and different things. So it's very school-oriented. I try to keep it to the original orientation of Facebook, where it was very university-oriented and not so much a a massive social connection site like it is today. And yeah, a lot of students are very free and very willing to provide details of where they're working and, you know, give me heads up on particular jobs they're hiring for, what the company's doing. Although I'm not able to get them to give me inside information about stocks, which I'd like, but...
Is that legal?
Only if I don't trade on it.
Ah, okay. So then why would you want it?
Research?
Okay. I believe you. Millions wouldn't, but I believe you. You are aware, I presume, that with Facebook you can also have like a fan site or an organization site. So you could set
yes,
it up.
you know, the College of Business does have a College of Business site for alumni, for a graduate society association, and for the school itself. So we do have a presence in the cyber world for the university.
There is one, it's a little off topic, but there's a component of Facebook that I really like. If you set up a fan site, you can embed a fan component on the website for your course or for your department or program. And it dynamically, as they go to your website, they see information about the fans, the comments, stuff you've uploaded. It makes a real personal connection between the users out there and the course site or the department site.
That's interesting. I didn't know there was a connection between the two.
If you go to the Innovations in Education website, we have one of those on our homepage, which works really, really well.
Yeah, I'd be interested in looking into that because it's a good way to stay connected.
So, getting back to these problems, broadly, how would you define problems that you need to use within business?
Well,
or even sort of in general, what are the characteristics of a good problem for teaching anything?
Okay. Well, for me, the main focus is on critical thinking.
Okay.
So the problems are open-ended. There's really not one correct solution set. So generally, for what I work with, it's mostly data and spreadsheets.
Right.
So I'm provided with multiple tabs of raw data, and then I propose a construct of what it is I'm looking for in general. But I always leave open, I'd like your analysis of what you can discover, and then your suggestions of how to rectify any problems or take advantage of any particular information that could lead the company to be more profitable. Or a red flag is something that is obviously a trend that's developing in the data the company should be aware of. So a lot of it is in close integration of accounting and finance together, such as, you know, profits, costs, margins, exchange rates, anything in that realm. But it's a heavy type of analysis that you only become good at as you practice it. Right. So the critical thinking is, you know, like a muscle. You have to really kind of use it. And I find the students are so, for a long time in education, it seems like the students were spoon-fed or given, you know, taught that there's one answer and given sets of problems that were just too canned. This really didn't have a direct connection to anything else in their life. And this is something I focus on the importance of, to get them to understand the importance of the problem and how it could be beneficial to them. And a lot of what I build into the casework or I look for is efficiency. And I tell them, you know, spend a lot of time, especially in the financial engineering course, teaching pivot tables, macros, VLOOKUPs, anything that can make the work more efficient and productive to put the information together. And a big problem we have in business is that a number of inexperienced business people will go in and they'll tackle the first problem without looking at the entire problem. And on occasion, I'll make a case that have about 20 different requests for students to do. And the last request would say, ignore the first 19 requests and just hand the spreadsheet in as is. And the number of students, you know, because they don't read the entire instruction set. They go it one by one, and I want to tell them that, you know, you need to read all the instructions and get an idea of what you need to do and then have formulate a plan or strategy.
There's a tendency not to get the big picture view first.
Exactly.
Zoom in and
they want to just start, let's start with problem one.
with.
Right, and then when you ever have, you know, these case studies, you have to look at it in total.